Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to study about transport. Okay. The word transport means the movement of substances from one part of the body to other. Okay. So there are various type of things which need to be transported in the living beings. It can be oxygen, carbon dioxide, nutrient, waste, and the distance in which they are transported that also varies. So it can be micrometers and micrometer distances. Food is transported within a unicellular organism like amoeba. Suppose this is an amoeba and this is the mitochondria of amoeba. Now oxygen is entering in it, carbon dioxide is going out, food is entering in it, waste is giving out. All these are also transport, and these transport are done in the micrometers distance. Whereas suppose a big animal like blue whale is there. So in the length of the blue whale may be somewhere about 100 meter, and here the transport is actually doing or taking place in the distance of several meters. Okay, so the transport can be done in a very small distance of micrometers to the several meters. Okay, and transport is done in order to supply the various type of things which are required by the living body. So that we already studied. The transport in living animals is generally known as circulation. Why? Because say for example, this is a fish. So in case of a fish, the food is transported. Say for example, this is its heart. So from the heart, the blood is transported to each and every part and then it is brought back to the heart. So the blood is actually moving or rotating in a circular path, and that is why it is called circulation. Whereas in case of plants, if we consider, so we are not finding that the same type of system is there. Say for example, this is a plant, okay, and this is a stem and this is the root. So the water once reach from root to the leaf, it is not going back into the root. So it is not making a circle here. And that is why in plant it is generally not known as circulation, but it is known as transport. The plant will be considering as transport of substances, whereas in animals we generally call it circulation. So that's the introduction. Let us go ahead. Okay. So with the evolution of multicellularity, where the body is made up of number of cells and the complexity is increased, there is need of a transport system. Why? Because in the multicellular organisms, not each and every cell is in direct contact with the surrounding. Not each and every cell in direct contact with the surrounding. So they cannot simply take their food, or they cannot simply take their oxygen from the surrounding and not discard their carbon dioxide and waste from their into their surrounding. So that is why there is a need of a complex system, that is the transport system. The transport system here ensures that each and every cell or body which is found deep inside or maybe on surface, they get their requirement like food, oxygen, water, and removal of carbon dioxide, ammonia, and other substances. So these are the basic necessities which are transported by the transport system. Beside this, there are other substances which are also transported. Say, for example, hormones are there. The heat produced in the tissues need to be transported. The antibodies required to be transported in order to prevent our body from against any microbes. Medicines need to be transported whenever we are sick and we are taking the medicine from any one part of the body, then it need to be transported to the desired part where it has to work. So all these are the additional function of the transport. Beside this, the transport system also, in case of blood circulatory system, help in the blood clotting and other functions. Okay, so transport system has got several functions. Okay, so transport system in the various organs, let us see that what are the different organs and what are the different type of transport system found in them. So first time a well-developed transport system is developed in animals in annelids. The annelids are the first organ in the transport system is developed. All the organs below annelids have transport done by simple diffusion, and diffusion takes very long. Diffusion is a slow process. Okay. Second, the blood circulation is of two type. What are the type? That can be open blood circulation, and second is closed blood circulation. So there are two types of blood circulation, the open blood circulation and closed blood circulation. In open blood circulation, it is found in all invertebrates except in annelids. Annelid is invertebrate, but it has got closed blood circulation. But in all other invertebrates, it is open blood circulation. So that we must know. Okay. Okay. In such organs where the blood vessels are not found, in open blood circulation, where it is found, the blood vessels are not found, they are not developed, and the blood is after being pumped from the heart, it actually flows into the body cavity, and the body cavity is known as hemocoelia. So I'll show you with the diagram here. So this is a diagram of an insect, and in case of insect, these are the hearts. Okay, I'll draw it in the blue color here. So these are the hearts, one, two, three, four, five. Every segment has got its own heart, and each heart has got its own duct opening here, and these openings are called ostia. So blood blood enters into these ostia. Okay, so here the blood will enter here. The blood will enter through this ostia. Blood will enter through the ostia. Blood will enter this through these ostia, and blood is also entering from the posterior part into the heart. Okay, and this is how the blood moves from the posterior part to the anterior part, and then it is distributed to each and every part. Okay, so here it goes here, it goes even into the wings, it goes into the appendages, it goes into the head, it goes into the, and then again it enters through these ostia back to the blood vessels, and not the blood vessels, actually heart. Okay, so the blood vessels are not found in them. The blood is flowing in the cavity of the body. The body cavity is known as hemocoel, and the blood is actually a blood hole which is there. Okay, so that's all in the open blood circulation. Open blood circulation has advantage that each and every cell is in direct contact with the fluid, but it also has got disadvantage that the pressure here is very poor. Okay, so the pressure which is required to pump the blood to the various part is very low here. So uh, this is why each cell is in direct contact with the tissue, and the open blood circulation is not efficient system as the pressure is very poor. Okay, these 2 points we already discussed. Now closed blood circulation. The closed blood circulation is a kind of circulation in which blood never comes out of the blood vessels, but it remains confined in the blood vessels and heart. The very important thing is the blood is only remain confined in the blood vessels and heart. It never comes out. Okay, so that is the important point in the closed blood circulation, and this is why the closed blood circulation is more efficient and capable because it maintains pressure, and here the blood is reaching to each and every part by the blood vessels. Okay, so there is less obstacles here. Okay, and then the closed blood circulation itself is again of two types. One is the single blood circulation, and second is double blood circulation. Single blood circulation, and the second one is double blood circulation. Okay, so single blood circulation, double blood circulation, what do these mean? Let us discuss about them. Okay, single blood circulation is the one in which in one complete circulation blood passes from heart only one time, and this is found only and only in fishes. Okay, found only in fishes, and in this one complete circulation blood passes from heart only one time. Okay, so here you can see the fish, and here it is the circulation. I'll draw it with the green colors so you can understand. This is the heart, this is the heart, and in this heart the blood is coming, deoxygenated blood is coming, then it reaching into the lungs, it get oxygenated, and then it goes to each and every part of the body, from arteries to capillaries, and then vein, and the vein open again into the heart. So this is the blood is taking in this circle, choosing this circular path only, and in this circular path each circulation it is entering into the or passing through the heart only one time. Okay, heart is here, it is passed from here, and again entered into the heart. Again, it takes one circulation and reach to the heart. So in each circulation, it passes through heart one time. This type of circulation is known as single blood circulation. So what is the problem here is that the oxygenated blood, here it is the oxygenated blood. and deoxygenated blood, both are flowing in the same depths. And as a result, what happens? The efficiency of the circulation is low. The body parts are not getting enough of oxygenated blood. Okay, so that is the disadvantage. Now let us study the blood circulatory system in human being. Okay, the blood circulatory system, it is important in order to function. Like it has got several functions. What are the functions? Like it transport oxygen from the lungs to the various tissues, or rather all the tissues of the body. It is bringing back carbon dioxide from each and every tissues back to the lungs. Then it transport nutrients from the digestive system, that is the intestine, to each and every tissues. Then it brings back waste from all the tissues to the kidney and other excretory organs. Then it transports hormones from endocrine glands. Now, endocrine glands are those glands which secretes hormones, and they are secreting hormones into the blood. They do not have any tubes, so they are secreting their hormones into the blood. And then blood is taking it to the organ where it has to function. The organ where it is function is called target organ. Okay, so uh, endocrine and target organs, it is clear to you. Then transport heat which is produced in the tissues. As we know, the respiration is taking place in the tissues in order to provide energy, and respiration is an exothermic reaction. And we know exothermic reaction, heat is produced, and the heat is actually produced in the tissue. As a result, the tissues will be heated, and then this heat has to be brought back from the tissues to the body surface, from where it will dissipate. And this is also a function of blood. Then it provide immunity. That blood has got WBCs, and WBCs, we know, are the the fighters of our body, which work against the foreign bodies. Okay, so WBCs will help us to prevent against the various type of diseases, and it also protect us from allergies. Okay, the next is that it even prevent us from the loss of the blood during case of bleeding. Okay, so all these are the various functions of the blood, and it also provide water and minerals to each and every cells. So these are the almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 functions of blood. Okay, so let us go ahead. The blood circulatory system consists of, in human being, following three organs, that is the heart, which is acting as a pump, blood vessels which are acting as the channels, and the blood which is acting as a medium of transport. Let us discuss about heart. Okay, so the heart is located here in the center of the chest cavity. Let us study about them one by one. How many hearts are found in human being? Only one heart is there. Okay, so the number of the heart is one. Second, the location, the heart is located at the center of the chest cavity, not at the left side, not at the right hand side, but it is found at the center of the chest cavity. Okay, uh, generally we see is people saying that the heart is located in the left hand side. Even in the movies and all, we see is that whenever anybody shoot, the bullet is always shot on the left hand side, and the person holds its left hand side and sits. This is not the actual position of heart. Heart is actually located at the center. Okay, however, its lower portion, the lower portion is slightly tilted towards left. So this is the left hand side. The actual position is this, but the lower portion is tilted towards left hand side. Okay, so that's the diagram of position, location. Then it is made up of cardiac muscle. We already studied in class 9th. The heart is actually made up of cardiac muscle, a special kind of muscles which are found only in the heart. Okay, size and shape. The heart is of close fish shape and size, बंद मुट्ठी के जैसे. ठीक है. Then protection, the heart is protected by the rib cage. और rib cage कैसे? See, these are the ribs here in the sides. Then it is protected by the vertebral column which is found at the back. It is a continuous thing. Okay, and it is also protected by the sternum, which is a flat bone which is found at the front. So these are the bones which are forming a cage-like structure. It is also protected by the shoulder bones at the top. So these are the various type of bones which are forming a cage. I'll repeat again: vertebral column at the behind, the sternum in the front, ribs at the side, and the shoulder bones at the top. So they all are forming a cage-like structure that is called rib cage. Again, the heart is protected by a jacket of membranes that is called as pericardium. Okay, so the pericardium is surrounding the heart, and a fluid is found between the pericardial membrane that is called pericardial fluid, which is protecting the heart from the shocks and the jerks, friction and resistance and all. The chambers, if we talk about, the heart has got four chambers: the chamber number one, chamber number two, chamber number three, and chamber number four. So there are four chambers found in the heart. Okay. The upper two chambers are called atrium. If you see these two chambers, one is right atrium, left atrium, and the lower two are ventricles, left ventricle and right ventricles. Okay, so these are the ventricle and atrium. So four chambers we have studied. Right atrium collects deoxygenated blood from all over the body. Okay, right atrium, this is the right atrium. So it is connecting the deoxygenated blood from the various parts, which is going into the right ventricle, and then it goes to both the lungs. This is the lungs. Okay, so these are the function. The right side of the heart is carrying deoxygenated blood, and on the other hand, left side of the heart, okay, left side of the heart is carrying oxygenated blood. So oxygenated blood is brought by the pulmonary vein, and then they are entered into the left atrium to left ventricle. From left ventricle it goes to all over the body. Okay, so right side of the heart is carrying deoxygenated and left side is the carrying oxygenated blood. Okay, left atrium and right atrium, right ventricle, left ventricle, I already discussed. Okay, now let us see tricuspid valve. Valves are found tricuspid here. If you can see tricuspid valve, so these are the valve, tricuspid valves. Which one? These one. These are tricuspid valve, and here it is mitral valve. Okay, so these valves allow the flow of blood from the atrium to ventricle, respective ventricles. And the other valves which are present here are the bicuspid valve is on the left hand side, and then semilunar valves are found in the great arteries. So here the great arteries, and these are the semilunar valves. Okay, so semilunar valves are preventing the backflow of blood from arteries into the ventricles. So this backflow is not allowed. The blood can go in this direction but cannot come in this direction. Okay, so that is this. Interarterial septum, the septa, that is the wall which is found between both the atrium, this atrium and this atrium. There is a wall found here which is dividing it, that is called interarterial septum. And interventricular septum, the wall which is dividing this ventricle, right ventricle and left ventricle. Okay, so these are the various parts of the heart. Let us talk about the blood vessels. So there are three types of blood vessels found in the heart, and these blood vessels are actually channel in which the blood flows. So these are the arteries, veins and capillaries, and the point of difference. So first is point of difference on the basis of direction of blood flow. Suppose this is considered as a heart. Actually heart is not of this shape, but just for the sake of understanding. So arteries takes the blood away from the heart, and the veins are actually bringing the blood back to the heart, and capillaries are taking the blood from arteries to ventricles. Okay. Okay, then type of blood. Arteries carries oxygenated blood except pulmonary artery which carries deoxygenated blood. Veins carry deoxygenated blood except pulmonary artery which carries oxygenated blood. And capillaries are the site of action. In lungs, the carbon dioxide is given out and oxygen is taken in the capillaries, and in tissues, capillaries gives out oxygen and collects carbon dioxide. Okay. Third is wall thickness. We will see by the diagram here. So arteries have thick wall, veins have thin wall, and capillaries are having thinnest wall. Okay. Then wall elasticity. Arteries, because of the most thick wall is there, it is more elastic. Veins have less thick wall, so they are less elastic. Capillaries are only one cell thickness, so they are least elastic. Lumen side, that is the inner diameter of the arteries. So this is narrow, Veins are broad and the capillaries are narrowest because they are 1 cell thick. Okay. Position. The arteries are found deep in the muscles, so they are well protected. Veins are found superficial on the body, whatever type of blue color tubes you can see, they all are veins, and capillaries are found between arteries and veins. Blood pressure, if we talk about, arteries have got great pressure, veins have got less pressure, and capillaries got least pressure. Walls are not found in arteries, they are found in veins, and they are not found in the capillaries. Now, what is the need of veins? Walls in the veins. Suppose this is a vein which is taking the blood from the lower to upper side. So the gravity is pulling the blood down. So when one heartbeat is there, the second heartbeat is there. During that time, the blood will again try to come back, and this backflow of the blood can be prevented by the walls which are there. So if the walls are there, the blood will come up. As the blood come down, the wall closes and it will not allow the blood to flow down. Okay, so this is what is the function of walls present in the vein. Okay. Okay, now let us talk about blood. So the blood is the medium of transport of the various substances in it. The blood is in adult human being is around 5 to 5.5 liters. So the quantity of the blood, it is a connective tissue because it's connecting the entire body in one line or one the same part. Okay, it is consisting of two parts, namely plasma and the blood cells. So the blood has two major components. The blood can be divisible into two parts. One is plasma and second is blood corpuscles. Okay. Blood corpuscles make around 48 to 52% and plasma makes around 50 to 52%. Okay, so you can see here the plasma is making 50 to 52% and blood corpuscles are making the remaining proportion of the blood. Okay, and in this plasma, what is 50 to 52%, 92% is mainly water and 8% dissolved substances, which may be nutrient, gases, waste, hormones, vitamins, many other types of substances which are dissolved in it. They all are making 8%. Okay, plasma is a fluid medium which is in which the blood corpuscles flows and it is pale yellow in color. So that's all about plasma. Let us talk about the blood corpuscles. The blood corpuscles are actually of three types: RBC, WBC, and platelets. And let us see the difference between them. So RBC, they are also known as erythrocyte. WBC are known as leukocyte. Platelets are known as thrombocytes. Color, RBC are red in color, other two are colorless. Nucleus, RBC loses its nucleus on maturity. Okay, lost its nucleus on maturity. WBC always have nucleus and it never have nucleus. Okay. Third, pigments. RBC is red color pigment that is called hemoglobin in it. WBC do not have any pigment. Platelets also do not have any pigment. Shape. RBC are biconcave shape, that is a circular disc-like structure which is compressed from the center because of the loss of nucleus. Okay, WBC do not have any fixed shape because they are amoeboid. They keep on making pseudopodia and because of their shape changes. And platelets do not have any fixed shape. No two platelets look alike. But whatever shape is there, that is once the shape is there, that shape will remain. Nucleus is not found in them. Okay. Pigments. RBC are red color pigment. Hemoglobin does not have any pigment. No pigment in them. Lifespan, it lives up to 120 days, that is up to 4 months, whereas they live up to 10 days and they live up to 2 weeks. Okay, number 45 to 55 lakhs per cubic millimeter. 1 cubic millimeter is a small dot like volume, that is 1 millimeter length, 1 millimeter broad, and 1 millimeter height. So that means far smaller than actually a drop of blood, and that is having 4.5 to 5.5 million RBC, 5,000 to 8,000 WBC, and 1.2 to 4.2 lakhs of platelets. Functions, if we talk about, RBC is actually responsible for transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide. WBC actually neutralizes the foreign body, and platelets are responsible for forming clots. Now let us talk about the circulation. That is, the flow of blood in the body is called circulation. Okay? Movement of the body in the blood is called blood circulation. There are two kinds of circulation in the living beings: open blood circulation and closed blood circulation. We already studied the open blood circulation is found in the invertebrates except annelids, and closed blood circulation is found in all the vertebrates. Open blood circulation, that's we already studied, and closed blood circulation is two types. First is single blood circulation and second is double blood circulation. In single blood circulation found only in fishes, and we have studied that in one complete circulation blood passes from heart only one time. In all other vertebrates, double blood circulation is present. Double blood circulation. In double blood circulation, there are two parts. One is pulmonary circulation, in which the blood moves from what you call right ventricles to the lungs, right ventricles to the lungs, and return back to left atrium. This is done by the pulmonary artery, and this is done by pulmonary vein, and it is what you call deoxygenated blood, and this is oxygenated blood. Okay, so you must remember all these things. Me run below. Okay, and second is systemic circulation. Systemic circulation start from left ventricle, then it goes to all over the body and return back at the right atrium. Here it is oxygenated blood and it is deoxygenated blood, and it is carried by aorta and it is brought by vena cava. Okay, so this is the summary. Let us see it in detail. Okay, the pulmonary circulation is the one in which deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle is carried by the pulmonary arteries to the lungs, and after oxygenation this is brought by the pulmonary vein to the left atrium. Okay, so if you see the line diagram, we can see that right ventricle which carries deoxygenated blood, which is shown in blue in color, by pulmonary artery reach to the lungs. In lungs it get oxygenated. Once oxygenated it become red in color, and then it is brought by the pulmonary vein to the left atrium. Okay, so this is the line diagram of pulmonary circulation. Second is systematic circulation. Systematic circulation, in which the blood is the oxygenated blood from the left atrium is brought to the taken to the all the part of the body, and deoxygenated blood is collected by the vena cava, returned back to the right atrium. Okay, so this is systematic blood circulation. Left ventricle, oxygenated blood carried by the aorta to each and every part of the body, get deoxygenated. Deoxygenated blood is collected by vena cava, brought back to right atrium of the heart. Okay, so the red color is actually representing oxygenation, and blue color is representing deoxygenated blood. Okay, let us see it in the diagram. Okay, so here is the diagram. This is right atrium, right atrium. It is written here, right atrium. This is left atrium, right ventricle, and left ventricle. The deoxygenated blood is collected from here, is open into right atrium, from right atrium to right ventricle. Then it goes to lungs, and then after oxygenation is returned to the left atrium, to the left ventricle, and then it goes to body. So what we are seeing here is that in one complete circulation, blood is passing from heart two times. Let me take it in green color. Actually, heart blood is not in green, but just to show the path. So deoxygenated blood collected from all over the body reaches to the right atrium, right ventricle, then goes to lungs, and then right, left atrium, left ventricle, then goes to body, and again it comes to the same path. So what we are saying that in one complete circulation, blood is passing two times from the heart. Okay, once it goes to the left hand side of the heart, and the others it goes to right hand side of the heart. Left hand side oxygenated blood, right hand side deoxygenated blood. Okay, so what is the importance here? That is the two type of blood, the oxygenated blood and the deoxygenated blood are never mixing together. So the body have better efficiency of transport of oxygen to each and every part of the body. Okay, next is blood pressure. The pressure exerted by the blood on the walls of artery is called blood pressure. Let us see, this is the diagram. Okay, so this is the aorta and this is the wall. So when the heart contracts, it pumps entire blood together. So there is a large amount of blood here, and the arteries swells here because of the pressure exerted by the blood on the walls of arteries. I'll draw it better in a okay. So here the blood is exerting pressure on the walls of the arteries, and this pressure is called blood pressure. Okay, so the value of blood pressure is more when the ventricles are contracting. The ventricles are relaxed, the pressure of the value of the pressure is less. When the ventricles are contracted, altogether large amount of blood comes here, and as a result the arteries swells up, and there is more force applied by the blood on the walls, and its value goes somewhere about 120 millimeter of mercury level. When there is less blood, when the ventricles are relaxed, there is less blood flowing into the walls of the artery in the arteries, so there is less pressure exerted, and its value is 80 millimeter of mercury level. Okay, so these are the numerical values. Let us cover these off. Okay, so it has two values. One is systolic blood pressure, and its value goes 120 millimeter of mercury level. Okay, and diastolic blood pressure, and its value goes 80 millimeter of mercury level. Okay, during systolic blood pressure, the ventricles are contracted, and in diastolic blood pressure, ventricles are relaxed. Okay, so I think it is clear to you. Okay. Let us talk about the device which is used for measuring the blood pressure is called sphygmomanometer, and it has three parts. One airbag is there, a manometer is there, and an air pump is there. Okay. To measure the blood pressure in the airbag of the sphygmomanometer is tied at the upper arm of a person. See like this. This is the upper arm, and here you can see that airbag is tied, and now the doctor will pump air in it. So this will contract, and this will compress the muscles so that the arteries which are found in the muscles will also contract, and the blood flow will stop. So the air is pumped in the airbag, which exert a pressure on the muscles, which compresses the arteries, and the blood flow stops, and hence there is no pulse felt afterwards. Okay, now the value of the valve is open, and the pressure is released, and first a heart sound is heard, first time pulse will be felt. So that value of the mercury level shown in this sphygmomanometer is called the upper value, that is systolic blood pressure. And when further air is released and the second heart sound is heard, that is diastolic blood pressure. So this is how the blood pressure is measured. Okay, so next is electrocardiogram. It is a graphical representation of functioning of heart. You come to know that how heart is working, whether it is working okay or not. Okay, so we know that the heart gets its signal from the brain, and these are in the form of electrical impulse. Now in the body, the impulse are carried by the nerves, and naturally there will be some amount of leakage of this impulse will be there. So if we put electrodes in the various parts of the body like this, see these electrodes, so we can get these type of electrical impulse. Okay? And these electrical impulse are then collected by the electrocardiogram. There is a machine which collect it, amplify it, and this convert into a writing device, and then on paper we can plot the electrocardiogram. So electrocardiogram will look like this. So we'll find a P wave here, then QRST wave here, QRS, and then a T wave here. Now the symbolic representation of this can be seen here. P wave is actually representing the contraction of both the atrium. QRS is actually representing the contraction of ventricles. Yeah, and T waves are the relaxation of the ventricles. So this can be case here. If everything is going okay, then the graph should come like this. If any part of this, whether the atrium or ventricle is not working properly, this graph will not come like this. Okay, few other important definitions. The pulse, the rhythmic contraction and relaxation felt on the walls of arteries. It is because of the pumping of the blood. When there is blood pumped in the arteries swells up. Suppose this is the artery. So arteries will swell up like this. More blood, less blood. More blood, less blood. More blood, less blood. So more blood, so it exerts a greater force onto the walls. This is systolic pressure, and here it is less blood pressure, that is called diastolic blood pressure. So this is diastolic and this is systolic, diastolic, systolic. Like this, the blood pressure goes, keep on changing. And because of that, the arteries will swell and compress and swell and compress. And this is can be said as a pulsation, that is called pulse. The pulse rate is simply directly related to the number of heartbeat. Okay, blood clotting. Now, in event of bleeding, there is a automatic system of our body to prevent the bleeding, and that is called blood clotting. How it is done? See, whenever there is a bleeding, the platelet ruptures. Platelets are a special kind of cells which are found in the blood. These platelets ruptures and they release a type of substance that is called prothrombin, and the prothrombin convert the prothrombinase, which convert the prothrombin into thrombin, and thrombin will change the fibrinogen into fibrin. Okay, so this process is called blood clotting. See, it is happening like this. See, this is the rupture here, and because of the rupture, the blood is flowing out, and because of that, the platelets are ruptured, and platelets are releasing some type of factor which are forming these fibers. See here, you can see these fibers, the pale yellow color fibers. So here, the network of the fiber is formed, and the RBC, WBC platelets get stuck in it, and it prevents the further flow of blood. Okay, so this is how the bleeding is stopped. Okay, so that is called blood clot. Next is lymph. See, the walls of the arteries, we have studied the arteries are very thick. The walls of the arteries are very thick. Walls of arterioles are further thin, and the walls of capillaries are thinnest. Okay. So walls of capillaries are so thin that when the blood flows in it, it cannot withstand with the high pressure, and a lot of things can filter out from it. The things which are filtered are plasma plus all the dissolved substances plus WBCs. RBC cannot come out because RBCs are big. Proteins cannot come out because proteins are big. So lymph can be defined as blood minus RBC and protein. Other things can come out. Now, suppose the blood will keep on losing water, minerals, plasma, nutrients, etc. like this. So after some time, the blood will become so thick that it will stop flowing. So there is a system that is collecting this fluid which is filtered out and later on opening it into the heart again. So the overall concentration of the blood remains same. Now, the things which are filtered out here is called tissue fluid. The things which are filtered out are now called as tissue fluid. Let me write it in the blue. This is called tissue fluid. But if the tissue fluid will go on leaking from the capillaries like this, so the blood flow will stop and the person will also die. So in order to prevent all this, what happens? This tissue fluid is recollected by the special type of duct that is called lymphatic duct, and then it opens back into the heart. That is not exactly hard, but in some of the thick veins just before the heart. So overall concentration of the blood is maintained. So lymph is actually doing what? Lymph is very important because it serves following functions. ठीक है देखिए the blood without RBC and protein filtered from the walls of the capillary is called lymph, and the lymphatic duct goes the lymph goes between the tissue and not the blood. Blood is actually remain confined in the blood vessels and capillaries, which you already studied in the beginning of the closed blood circulation. So blood cannot do all those functions which actually done by the lymph. It is the lymph which is going between the tissue. So it is the lymph which is carrying out all those functions of the blood. So what are the functions of the lymph? That is it helps in providing liquid medium to all the tissues. Secondly, it helps in the exchange of gases, giving oxygen, collecting back carbon dioxide, giving nutrient and collecting back the waste materials. Okay, and it also removes the waste from there, and it also helps in the removal of the heat, and it also helps in the absorption of fat. Okay, now blood clotting we already done. This we already done, so I'll not describe it. And these are the factors, that is when the platelet ruptures. So when platelet ruptures, so they release a substance called thrombinase, and thrombinase convert the prothrombin into thrombin, and this thrombin convert the fibrinogen, which is a soluble protein, into insoluble protein fibrin, and insoluble protein fibrins will form a network on the wound, and it will prevent the blood flow because a large RBC and the proteins get stuck in it, and it will prevent the further flow of blood. Okay, so that is how blood clotting take place, and these are the various steps. Clotting factor, prothrombin are converted into thrombin, and fibrinogen is converted into fibrin, and fibrin will form a network here. See here the network you can see. Let me draw the network with the blue color here. So this is the network which we can see here on the wounded part, and the blood cells get stuck here, and the further leakage of the blood is stopped. Okay. So this is how this particular part of the transport in human being is completed. I think the video is of some use to you. If you like it, even up to a bit, you can give me a thumbs up. You can give me a thumbs up. Okay, and if you don't like, you can write comment. Okay, okay, this is a bad video, or not sound is not audible, or this whatever you want to write. And if you have got any question, you can ask question, you can, or queries, you can ask in the comment section. Thank you, children. So with this we come to the end of the video. Actually, the problem is that I am outside home and I cannot use my board right now, and that is why I am making this type of video. So that's all.